Carthage Bulldogs. All right, we're getting ready for the anthem, and while we have the anthem, we're going to go back to the station. Okay, Josh, give us about a 2-minute break.
Carthage Independent School District is where champions are educated. As we face another year of uncertainty, Carthage will remain committed to being champions for every child, every day. We will continue being champions in the classroom with the help of our incredible team of teachers. We will continue being champions in extracurriculars, fine arts, and athletic events with the support of our fans along the way.
And we will continue being champions for our community. Thank you for your continued support.
Buying your new, pre-owned, or custom-built vehicle should never be a stressful experience. And at XL Ford, our staff works hard at ensuring your buying experience is always a relaxing, stress-free event. Whether it's a car, truck, SUV, or crossover, you are always welcome to browse at your pace or custom build your vehicle at xlford.net. XL Ford, right on the loop, right on the price.
Choosing the right healthcare provider can be a difficult task. Hope Community Medicine is here for you. Whether you need medical, OBGYN, or behavioral health services, it is our mission to provide access to high-quality healthcare regardless of your ability to pay. With 5 convenient locations in Carthage, Tenaha, Center, and St. Augustine to better serve your family. Hope Community Medicine, 903-690-8395.
Since 1980, Juicy's Hamburgers has been serving up the freshest, juiciest burgers in East Texas. At Juicy's, every bite is legendary. From our hand-ground beef to our crispy fries, golden onion rings, savory beans, and mouth-watering chicken fried steaks. Everything is made fresh to order. It's no wonder Juicy's has been voted best burger in East Texas for 40 years running. Juicy's Hamburgers, where tradition meets taste.
All right, we're back at Pine Tree Junior High, actually. Pine Tree for many years played their baseball games on the high school campus at a park called the Field of Dreams. You know the movie Field of Dreams? Well, that was what they called their ballpark, Field of Dreams. But as I understand it, they're going to put in another building there, a new building, and so they have torn down that old ballpark and built one here at the junior high just north of the high school by about, less than a mile. And so we're not too far away from Pine Tree High School, but actually we're on the property here of Pine Tree Junior High School. And it is an all-turf field, really sharp looking, and they've got a great background here. Pine trees going all the way from the right field corner through left center field. Now, there's no pine trees right behind the scoreboard in left field, but nice setting here for a ballpark, all turf field. And leading off for the Bulldogs is going to be Maddox Martinez. Martinez pops one up on the infield. Someone should get this one. Shortstop calling for it and makes a two-handed grab for out number 1. So Martinez going after the very first pitch pops up to short. The weather brought to you tonight by County Judge Roger McLean. Judge Roger McLean loves Panola County and is an avid supporter of the Carthage Bulldogs. Go Dogs. And what do we have? Well, we have absolutely no clouds at all. A beautiful night for baseball. This one is a line drive caught by the shortstop. So 2 pitches and 2 outs as Martinez popped out to short and Watson lines to short. 2 pitches, 2 outs for the Bulldogs here in the top half of the first inning. Cal Preston, the batter, left-handed hitter. Cale won the district golf tournament that was just completed. Pitch is on the inside corner for strike 1. Bulldogs facing a lefty tonight, Zachary Duhart. Strike 2 call. Carthage 7-2 in district play. Pine Tree is 2-6. This one popped up foul, out of play. They don't have it totally completed here. For instance, the net that protects the folks here to watch the ball game from being hit by a foul ball. That one's low. Ball one. 1-2 the count. That netting goes down to just the edge of the dugout. They want to extend that much further than that. Here's the 1-2 pitch. This one swung on and missed, strike three. So Preston goes down swinging, and the Bulldogs are out in the top of the first in a hurry. Only 6 pitches in the top of the first for Zachary Duhart for the Pine Tree Pirates. So no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left. We go to the bottom of 1 after this 2-minute break. Back in 2 minutes.
Better solutions, better building comes from Louisiana Pacific, caring.
He just completed that one, Farmer State. Doing that one now. All right, we started the bottom half of the first inning, a 1-2 count on Manuel Williams, and this one hit on the ground right side. Martinez has it at second, over to first in time. So Manuel Williams grounds out to second. One out and nobody on here in the bottom of the first, no score. Boston Johnson, the shortstop, now coming up for the Pine Tree Pirates. I started to tell you the weather. It's brought to you by County Judge Roger McLean. Judge Roger McLean loves Panola County, and he is an avid supporter of the Carthage Bulldogs. Go Dogs. It is a cloudless night here. Not one cloud that we can spot. And it is, let's see, 69 degrees. No wind. I brought along a light coat, but no need for it right now. Now, obviously, it'll get cooler when the sun goes down. 1-1 count. Here's the pitch, and that's inside 2-1. Carthage losing 2 games to Spring Hill last week, so Carthage is now tied with Spring Hill. No, excuse me, now 2 games behind Spring Hill, I should say. Spring Hill leads the district at 9-0. Carthage is 7-2. Here's the 3-1 pitch outside ball 4. So Johnson walks. So he's on first with 1 out. That'll bring up Peyton Hightree, the first baseman. Hightree, a right-handed hitter. Carthage Bulldogs in their gray pinstripe uniforms with red numbers and red letters. They wear a red cap with a big white C on the front of it. Here's the pitch in there for a strike to High Tree. Pine Tree Pirates in their home white uniforms. That one's inside, 1-1 the count. This is the pitch is hit fouled, out of play. And that's one area right there, I think, where they hope to put, that's a good example of where they hope to extend the netting here from what a Longview policeman told me, because they hope that cars can be parked back there. You're going to have some netting, or there's going to be some bunch of cars hit by foul balls if you don't. A lot of noise coming from the Pine Tree dugout tonight. Moore working from the stretch, throw over to first, back in there. Here's the stretch, the 1-2 outside, and the count now is 2-2. So Pine Tree in white uniforms. And he started to go on that one, held up, and it's a full count now. They've got navy blue numbers and letters trimmed in gold. Here's the 3-2. This one popped up on the infield. Someone should get it. Moore's calling for it at first. Now Ross comes in and takes charge. Cade Moore came off the mound, and he was, I think, going to make the play, but Cade Ross came over from first base and called him off and made the catch. So 2 down now in the bottom of the first inning. If you were not with us for the top half of this frame, the Bulldogs went down on 6 pitches. First pitch, Martinez popped to short. Second pitch at the top of the first, Watson lined to short. There goes the runner. No, they throw behind him. He started to go, went back, and then Brooks Soap threw behind him, but he got back to first safely. So the count now is 0-1 on Braden Morris. This is the cleanup hitter up now, the third baseman. Here's the 0-1 outside on a breaking ball. 1-1 the count. Bulldogs will be at home on Friday night to face these same Pine Tree Pirates. Again, Spring Hill 9-0 in district play after that sweep of Carthage last week, 6-4 and 7-1. The Bulldogs 2 games behind at 7-2. This pitch is swung on and missed. Throw to first, back in there. And so the count now, after that swing and miss, is 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yeah, a lot of noise coming from the Pine Tree dugout tonight. Here's Moore to the plate, breaking ball. This one hit well to right center field, but the right fielder, LeGrone, comes over to his right, makes the catch for out number 3. So for the Pine Tree Pirates, no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left. The man left reached base on a walk. We go now to the top of the second, where it'll be Soap, Moore, and LeGrone up for the Dogs. No score here in Longview. We'll be back after this 90-second break.
Is anything playing right now?
Here you go. You listen to it.
Okay. I guess he's going to do them.
Same as the top of the first inning. And Brooks Soap swings, and this time he grounds out to third. So remember in the first inning, Duhart, we helped him out. He made 2 pitches and recorded 2 outs. There's a strike there to Cade Moore. 0-1 to Cade. And here in the second inning, our first batter up. This one hit sharply to the second baseman. He's got it on 2 hops over to first in time. Boy, you talk about some efficiency on the mound. Duhart with a total of 6 pitches in the first inning. And now he's got 10 for the ball game. Blayton LeGrone, who has been a star for the Bulldogs in the 9-hole, moved up to the 6-hole tonight, takes a strike. Here's the windup and the pitch. This one is lined into left field. That's a base hit. LeGrone continues his hot hitting. Wow. Boy, what a stretch he has had. I could go back, 5 or 6 games, and just every night he has 1 or 2 hits, drives in a run, scores 1 or 2 runs. He has been, I don't have stats to prove it, but he has been, in my opinion, just from watching the Dogs, he's been our hottest hitter now for the last, 3 or 4 weeks. Okay, so LeGrone on first base now with 2 down for Caden Ritter, center fielder. Duhart comes to the plate. This one is in there for a strike. So we've got LeGrone on first, 2 outs. No score in the ball game. 0-1 now on Ritter. Here's the 0-1. He squared around a bunt, takes it outside. 1-1 the count. Again, Spring Hill, because of that sweep of Carthage last week, is 9-0. They're now 2 games ahead of Carthage and Kilgore. Kilgore is tied with Carthage for second place at 7-2, but Kilgore's got 2 games this week with Spring Hill. Here's the 1-1. This one hit foul, out of play. 1-2 now on Caden Ritter. Looking up about 1.5 inches from what I'm looking at here. Duhart looking down to get the sign. He's got it set at the letters. And the 1-2. This one hit to down the right field line. It's a foul ball. The first baseman going after it, and he's going to run out of room. It's out of play. So it stays at 1-2. One and two the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Caden Ritter. Top of the second. No score here at Pine Tree. LeGrone with a 2-out single at first base. We're facing a lefty tonight. Here comes a 1-2. Boy, that didn't miss by much. Wow. Now, we are not right behind the plate. We're toward the first base side, but we're not quite on the right on the third base line. Looking right down the third base line.
There's some buttons here.
2-2 the count on Ritter. Runner on first with 2 down. Here's a 2-2. This one lined into left field. Left fielder coming on, and it's going to be down for a hit. So, 2 consecutive 2-out singles for the Bulldogs. And we now have runners at first and second with 2 down. So 2 line drives to left, first by LeGrone and then by Ritter. And now River Leach, the batter. Leach, the third baseman. River, a right-handed hitter, just a freshman. Here's the pitch to him. That's one is high and outside, ball 1. This is the only starter on the team for Carthage it is not either a junior or a senior. Outside ball 2. He steps out of the box, takes a deep breath, gets back in. Right-handed hitter. Duhart looks back at the runner at second base. Now to the plate. This one hit foul down the third base side. Got fairly close there to Coach Goodwin. And as a result, Coach Goodwin is going to back up some. He was standing in the third base coach's box. Recently, a ball came much closer than that to hitting him, and he backed up a good distance. So he's now out of the coach's box. He is backed up. Oh, maybe 3 feet out, moving closer to the left field fence. 2-1 the count on River Leach. Here's the 2-1. Strike 2 call on a breaking ball. Again, we're in the top of the second. Carthage runners at first and second with 2 outs. River Leach, third baseman, freshman third baseman, is at the plate with a 2-2 count on him. 2 down. Duhart looks back at second base at the runner. Now to the plate. This one foul back into the screen. Boy, I love the look of their field here. They have done something that Carthage did on their field. That is, between the third base line and the third base dugout, they've got pine tree spelled out. And over on the other side, between the first base line and the first base dugout, they've got Pirates spelled out. Both times spelled out in gold with navy blue. And there's a swing and a miss, and so Leach goes down swinging. Spelled out in gold with a trim of navy blue. So Leach strikes out, but for the Bulldogs, no runs, 2 hits in the inning. Both of them came with 2 outs, however, the single by Lagrone and the single by Ritter. No errors and 2 left. We go now to the bottom of 2. Bottom of 2, no score here in Longview between the Carthage Bulldogs and the Pine Tree Pirates. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Zone 13. Okay, I can't hear anything now. Okay. Still can't hear anything. Okay, maybe the commercial's over. I guess it is. Okay. All right, we go to the bottom of the second, and here's a drive into left center field by the batter. There's Kel Preston, though, going over to his left about 6 to 8 steps and makes the catch for out number 1. So we've had in this ball game several outs made on the very first pitch. First inning, 2 Carthage batters went out on the first pitch. Second inning, another one went out on the first pitch. And now the first batter here in the second inning for Pine Tree goes out on the first pitch. That was Chris Nicholas. Nicholas lining out to left. Now MJ Cates up, and he has a count of 1 ball and 1 strike on him. He's the DH hitting for Parker Johnson, the left fielder. This pitch is popped up on the infield. Someone should get it. Shortstop calling for it, Sam Watson. He makes the play just on the edge of the infield grass for out number 2. So we're sailing along here at a pretty good pace. 23 pitches now for Cade Moore. I think he had 18 in the first inning, which is a little bit high. You've heard me say a number of times.
Farmers State Bank, a name that you know.
About 110 by 7, you get just under 16 per inning. And so if you average 18, you're not going to go the distance. There's a strike to Zachary Duhart. This is the starting pitcher. For swing and a miss there. Pretty weak swing there by Duhart. So he's behind in the count now, 0-2. Okay, here's the 0-2. High. 1-2. I also like the fact that their turf is a solid color of green. Here's the 1-2. This one hit foul down the first base line. My wife gets tired of hearing me say this, but I'll say it again anyway. I'm not a huge fan at all of the turf fields that are alternating strips of light green and dark green. Here's the 1-2. That should be strike 3, and it's not. Wow. 2-2 the count. Now again, I'm not right behind the plate, but I'm just going by where Soap caught the ball. Here's a 2-2. Low and outside. I agree with that one. 3-2 the count. Boy, that 1-2 pitch. Here's the windup, the 3-2 outside. Now the last two, yeah, they were definitely out of the zone, but looked like to me that 1-2 pitch should have been a call third strike. Trey Nafrady up now. Nafrady, sort of an unusual spelling, N-A-F-R-A-D-Y. Okay, they're going to send in a runner now for Duhart, the pitcher. Trey Nafrady, the center fielder, up with a runner on first and 2 down. Swings and misses for strike 1. On deck is the catcher, Dalen Montgomery. Cade Moore, fast worker. Here's the pitch. This one line. That's a base hit down the left field line. It hit the line. Runner on first, rounding second, headed toward third. We get the ball back in, and it's a stand-up double for Nafrady. So a stand-up double for Nafrady. And there was no doubt about that one, because when it hit the turf, you could see white coming up from the turf. I can already tell the difference between this turf and the turf at Bulldog Park. Here's the pitch in there for a strike. This turf here, when the ball, let's say there's a line drive to the outfield or a bouncing ball in the infield, you often see a little puff. This is a swing and a miss. 0-2 the count now, as Moore has gone after him now with 2 straight fastballs. This is the 9-hole hitter right here, left-handed hitter. He's behind in the count, 0-2. 0-2, this one, ground ball, could be trouble. Third baseman has it, throws to first, not in time, and a run comes in to score. It got past the pitcher, and boy, you could tell with the speed of Montgomery that was about to be trouble. And it seemed like to me that Leach had just a slight hesitation there before releasing it. And so a runner comes in to score. That'll be an infield single. So it's now 1-0 Pine Tree. The runner on second, Nafrady, moves over to third. And Montgomery is on with the RBI single. So Pine Tree leads it now 1-0 here in the bottom of the second. And John Goodwin's going to go out to visit with Cade Moore. Pine Tree taking a 1-0 lead. Timeout sponsored by Flowzone. Flowzone is your industry leader for all oil and gas pipe, valve, fitting, and supply needs. They're ready to offer customer service that will exceed your expectations. And I tell you what, Josh, let's take a 30-second break. 30 seconds, then we'll return here to Longview, Texas.
Is he playing anything?
Hmm?
Is anything playing?
Yeah, he's playing.
Really? I don't hear anything. Why can't I hear anything?
This is Manuel Williams, the leadoff hitter. And they count on him now as 1 ball and 1 strike. The runner from first took off, and he steals second. One ball and 1 strike now. Oh, this is Manuel Williams. That was Montgomery who stole second. So now 1 and 2 on Williams. Strike 3 call. All right, so Williams goes down swinging, actually swung and missed. So it'll be a swinging strikeout there. So 1 run for Pine Tree here in the bottom of the second on 2 hits. Nafrati had the double, driven in on the single by Montgomery. No errors for the Bulldogs, and 2 were left on base. So we go now to the top of 3. It's Pine Tree 1, Carthage 0. We'll be back to Pine Tree Junior High right after this 90-second break. All right, first pitch at the top of the 3rd inning. Again, the Bulldogs going after the first pitch, and Andrew Gwynn lines out to right. So 9 batters, Bulldog batters have now come to the plate. And 1, 2, 3, 4 of them went out on the first pitch. 4 of the 9. Here's a strike to Martinez. He popped up to short his first time up. Here's the 0-1. Looked like he was going to put down the bunt. Takes it inside, almost hit him. 1-1 the count. Top of 3, Carthage trailing 1-0. Here's a 1-1. This one hit well to left center field, but the center fielder coming in and makes the catch for out number 2. Two up and 2 down. Sam Watson, the batter. Watson lined out to short on his first pitch in the first inning. Duhart to the plate. This is lefty versus lefty here. Sam, left-handed batter, open stance, back foot on the edge of that back line of the batter's box. That's inside and low. And so the count now is 2-0. Duhart with a 2-0. There's a strike, 2-1. Here comes the 2-1. Just missed. Didn't miss that by much. 3-1 the count. Again, Carthage tied with Kilgore for second place in the district. Here's a 3-1. This is a ground ball, right side. First baseman has it on the third hop. Throw to the pitcher, and he is out at first base. Close there as the pitcher got over just ahead of Watson to tag the first base bag. So Watson is out 3-1, and the Bulldogs, for the second time in the ball game, go down in order here. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left. We go to the bottom of 3. It's Pine Tree 1, Carthage nothing. Back in 60 seconds. There's a strike. You don't want to put them on. Here's a 2-1. Swung on and missed. I think that was ball 3 right there if he doesn't swing at it. I think that was ball 3, but he swung and missed. It's now 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. This one is hit out to left field. Here's Preston coming on and makes the one-handed grab on the run. So Johnson flies out to left. And the batter now is Peyton Hightree. Boy, to show you how much those walks will kill you. In the first Spring Hill game last week, Spring Hill scored 4 runs in the second inning of that first game. We were up 2-1, and they scored 4 runs in the second inning to take a 5-2 lead. Of those 4 runs, 3 of them reached base with a walk. This one, line, that's going to be in there for a base hit. Preston over to his right in a hurry to pick it up. Gets it back into the infield as Preston had to go to his right to gather that one in. So Hightree with a 1-out single is on at first. I mentioned earlier the difference that I've seen in this turf versus our turf. This turf, when a ball hits the turf, sometimes you'll see a little puff come up of something that's light colored. You don't see that at our ballpark. There is a difference in turf and the quality of it. 0-1 the count now to Braden Marsh. Marsh is the cleanup hitter. That one's inside, 1-1 the count. Marsh lined to right his first time. So we've got one out in the bottom of the third. Pine Tree leading it 1-0. Runner on first with one out. Swing and a miss. That was a weak swing right there by Marsh. So he's now behind in the count 1-2. Incidentally, if you're listening to this on 104.3 FM, remember you can watch it for free. Here's the 1-2. This one could be two. Ground ball to shortstop. It's the second for one. Throw to first. Got him. 6-4-3 double play pulled by the Bulldogs. Nice twin killing there as Morris grounded to short. So it was Watson to Martinez on the force out at second for the second out of the inning, and then Martinez over to Cade Ross to complete the double play. That's a pitcher's best friend right there. So for the Pine Tree Pirates in the bottom of the third, no runs, one hit, their third hit of the ball game, no errors, and no one left because of the double play. Top of four coming up. Boy, we're sailing right along here. We've only played about 36 minutes, and we're already to the top of the fourth inning. The Dogs, however, trail 1-0. Got to have some offense. We'll be back after this 60-second break. All right, we're back here at Pine Tree High School. All right, it's going to be Cale Preston leading off here in the fourth. He takes ball one. Looked like he thought about putting down a bunt right there. Thought about it again, takes high, ball two. Got to get our offense going. Let's go, guys. This is a team that we're facing that, you know, just look at the records, and this is a team we should beat. Carthage. That's going to be a strike right there. Wow, look that. Oh my, that looked high from right here. Come on, let's go, Blue. 2-1 the count now. Carthage 7-2 in district. Pine Tree 2-6. That one's outside. 3-1 the count. Well, if you get Preston on, then you've got some great speed on the base pad. Cale won the district golf tournament. I believe he was just one stroke ahead of Jet Surratt, who finished second. All right, that's ball four. So Preston leads off with a walk. And now it's Brooke Soap coming up. Now, you may be thinking, if you're listening closely, Carthage is 7-2. That's 9 games. Pine Tree is 2-6. 2-6 is 8. So why have we played 9? They've only played 8. There's a strike to Soap. Well, it all goes back to the rain of last Friday. Remember, on Friday we moved the Spring Hill varsity game from 7 o'clock to 4:30. Did not play a JV game, and we got the game in. And really didn't have any rain. There he went after a bad pitch there. John Goodwin just simply walks away after that swing as Brooks went after a bad pitch. Wow, now he's behind in the count 0-2. Went after a bad one there. Let's go, Brooks. Here's the 0-2. This one popped up to right center field. Center fielder over to his left, and one hands it for out number one. So Soap flies out to center. One down, and that brings up Cade Moore. Let's go, Cade. Okay, so here's the difference between Carthage playing 9 and Pine Tree playing 8. That game between Pine Tree was supposed to play at Henderson last Friday, and they were fearful of the rain. There goes the runner. This pitch is swung on and fouled off. Preston was off with the pitch. So 0-1 now on Moore. So they canceled it on Friday, intended to play last night on Monday night, and Henderson's field was still too wet. It's a grass field. That's the problem when you've got a grass field. Here's the 0-1. High and outside, 1-1 the count. So they were supposed to play last night. Field is too wet. Henderson's playing a regularly scheduled district game tonight. So Pine Tree and Henderson are going to play tomorrow night. They're going to play on Wednesday night to play the game that should have been played the previous Friday. Throw to first. Preston back in there. Now you've got to be careful if you're Preston because they've got a left-hander on the mound. Of course, he can. There goes Preston. This pitch is fouled off. Check swing. Cade Moore did not intend to swing. I think that would have been a ball, and instead it hit the bat for strike 2. Fouled it off. John Goodwin walking around there in a semicircle. You can tell he's frustrated with the lack of production, of offensive production so far. Here's the stretch by Duhart, the 1-2. This one hit hard, past the third baseman, down the third baseline. Preston's going to stop. He stopped, and that was a wise move right there. If it had been hit any other place, he would have tried for third, but that was hit a ground ball past the third baseman down the left field line. And of course, you know, left fielder doesn't have a long throw at all to third base from that spot. So Preston has to stop at second. So it's a single for Moore. And now we've got runners at first and second with just one out for Blayton Legrone. Low, and there the run that gets away from the catcher. Both runners move up. So we catch a break there. That got away from the catcher. Looked like it went right between his legs. I'm going to call that a pass ball. You know, those are always either pass balls or wild pitches. Sometimes it's very evident how you should rule it. Sometimes it's not quite so evident. Okay, now Pine Tree brings the infield in. They're leading at 1-0. Probably not many runs going to be scored tonight. They bring the infield in with a runner on third. This is a ground ball down to the third baseman. He's got it. Looks the runner back at third. Throw to first. In time to get him. One hopper down to the third baseman. He looked the runner, Preston, back to third, and then threw out Legrone at first base for the second out of the inning. And now it's all up to Caden Ritter. So the Bulldogs, with their best scoring opportunity here. Okay, now we've got a runner now going in. Runner's going to go in for Cade Moore, the pitcher for the Bulldogs, and this is going to be Branson Legrone. So Branson Legrone in to run for Cade Moore at second base. That's a move that high school coaches often make. This pitch is swung on and missed, as Ritter went after a bad pitch. Wow. Boy, you hate to see going after bad pitches. This pitch is a strike. That's a good pitch right there over the outside corner. Took that one, so went after a bad pitch, swung and missed. Took a call, strike 2, and now he's behind on the count, 0-2. Here's the 0-2. This one lined down the right field line. That could be in. It is a hit. It is a base hit, and it's going to score 2 runs. How about that? A line drive down the right field line. And the question was, would it be fair or foul? And it was fair. It appeared by less than a foot at the most. And so Ritter comes through with a big 2-out, 2 RBI double. Boy, we needed that. You're down to a team that is several games behind you in the standings. Several games behind you in the district standing. This was a line drive to center field, and the center fielder to his left makes the catch on River Leach. So Leach lines out to center, and that ends the top of the 4th. But the Bulldogs take the lead. 2 runs on 2 hits. The big hit would be the 2 RBI double down the right field line by Caden Ritter. The 2 runs that scored, Preston reached on a base on balls, and Moore reached on a single. So 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. We go now to the bottom of 4, and the Bulldogs have taken the lead now. Is Carthage 2, Pine Tree 1, bottom of 4 coming up in 60 seconds. Okay, a line drive headed toward right field. Maddox Martinez timed it perfectly, got as high as he possibly could, and could not quite bring it in. He got his glove on it, but it's a base hit to right by Chris Nicholas for the Pine Tree Pirates. So Nicholas leads off the 4th with a single. Let's see if they try to bunt him now to second. MJ Cates up, who popped out to short his first time. First pitch to him is in there for a strike. So the Bulldogs have grabbed the lead here. Pine Tree with a run in the 2nd. Carthage with 2 in the top of the 4th. It's 2-1 Carthage now. That one inside. 1-1 the count. Sun has gone down, and the temp, you can tell, is dropping. 69 degrees. This pitch is popped up. And Soap comes back. He's got a chance for it and can't quite make the play. Got his glove on it. Boy, I tell you what, I was getting a little bit nervous there because I couldn't pick it up at first. I knew it was behind the plate, not headed exactly directly toward us. So the count now is 1 ball and 2 strikes on Cates. He squares around as if he's going to bunt. Here's the 1-2 pitch. This one hit to the short, to the second baseman. Could be 2. Throw to short for 1. Throw to first. In time. Got him. Another double play for the Bulldogs. Wow. That was pretty there. That was a sharply hit ball headed toward right field. Maddox Martinez to his left. Got it. Turned quickly. Throw to short, to second to Sam Watson. So 4-6 gets Nicholas at second on the 4th out, the first out of the inning. And then it's Watson to first to complete the double play. Second double play of the ball game for the Bulldogs. Looking sharp on defense. Here's Duhart taking one high for ball one. One and 0 on Duhart. 2 outs. There's a strike. 1 and 2 the count. 1 and 1 the count now. Second double play, and boy, that was a beauty there. Great turn there by Martinez at second. Here's the 1-1, and it's outside, and the count now is 2 and 1. Soap going to go out to talk to Moore. So Martinez, when he grabbed that, was going away from second base, and he turned quickly, then got it to Watson. Watson with the quick relay over to first, and they barely got MJ Cates. 4-6-3 double play. 2-1 the count. Here's the 2-1. This one swung on and missed. A weak swing there. 2 and 2 the count now. This is Duhart, the pitcher, up. Make him hit his way on. He's had a couple of weak swings in the 2 at-bats, and he walked his first time up and scored their only run. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Inside. Don't walk him. Don't walk him. Make him hit his way on. This is not Aaron Judge. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. Wow. Boy, you just hate to see that. You can just tell from a couple of his swings, that's not their best hitter. And he has walked twice now. We've walked him twice. Oh, well, let's come back and get this next guy now. So they send in a runner for him now at first base. So a runner at first base with 2 down for Trey Nafrati. Nafrati doubled his first time up. Outside, ball 1. There goes the runner. The pitch is lined into left field. Here's Preston coming on. It's going to bounce in front of him, hit in front of him. He's going to try for third. He's got a chance to get him. He is out at third base. The runner on first for Pine Tree taking a chance there. That was Duhart's pinch runner. It was his line drive to left field that Preston picked up on the bounce. And the runner for Duhart decided he was going to try for third, and it was an ill-advised decision there as he is thrown out 7-5. Preston to River Leach, and that ends the top half of the bottom half of the 4th inning. So for the Pine Tree Pirates, no runs on 2 hits. They had 2 hits and a walk in the inning, but did not score. Now, how could that happen? Well, it happens because we pulled a double play. 2 hits and a walk, and they do not score. So no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left. All right, we're sliding right along here. We have now played 53 minutes, and we're going to the top of the 5th here at Field of Dreams at Pine Tree Junior High. Okay, we'll be back after this 60-second break. 60 seconds. All right, We go now to the top of the 5th. Andrew Gwynn, the DH leading off, takes ball 1. This one is outside, ball 2. Let's go, Andrew. Andrew in the 9-hole hitting for Cade Ross, the first baseman. Both starting pitchers still in there. Outside, ball 3. Duhart been more efficient as far as the number of pitches are concerned. He had 51 pitches through 4 innings. Cade Moore was 63. Here's the 3-0. There's a strike. 3 balls, 1 strike. If we can get Gwynn on there, then we go back to the top of the order. Here's a 3-1. This is going to be a little humpback liner caught by the shortstop. So, Gwynn with the first out of the inning. Little humpback liner. Shortstop caught it on the infield dirt. Okay, Martinez the batter now. And he has popped to short and lined to center, so he is 0 for 2. And boy, he started a great double play. Okay, timeout called by the Pine Tree coach. He's going to go out and visit with Duhart. Okay, so we'll tell you that this timeout is sponsored by FlowZone. FlowZone is your industry leader for all oil and gas pipe, valve, fitting, and supply needs. They're ready to offer customer service that will exceed your expectations. My partner here, Mr. Powell, has just finished off some nachos. And yes, ladies, if you're wondering, he is eligible. He didn't smile at that. Okay, so that conversation ended in a hurry. Martinez with a 1-0 count on him. Duhart, the lefty, comes to the plate. There's a strike. Thomas Powell, a senior at the Panola College. Is it Panola College Charter School? Early College. Panola Early College High School. Okay. 1-2 the count. 1-2 on Martinez. 1 out in the top of the 5th, nobody on, and a 2-1 ball game. Bulldogs up by 1 run. Here's the 1. Nope. He stopped his motion. Carthage tied with Kilgore for second in the district with 7-2 records. Here's the 1-2. This one hit on the ground into left field for a base hit. There's a base hit. So Martinez takes a 1-2 count to left, and we've got a runner on first now with 1 out for Sam Watson. All right, now Watson has lined to short and then grounded out first baseman to the pitcher covering. Duhart, the lefty, set at the letters and to the plate. This one fouled out of play. Nope. It comes back into the field of play after hitting the netting. They've got a lot of construction going on here, so pretty frustrating place to come to right now as far as, you know, where you're going to park. But they're telling me that once they get all this finished, parking will be a much easier situation. There goes the runner from first, and they gets down the bunt. It's going to be a foul ball. So the runner was off with the pitch, and then Watson tried to get the bunt down and fouled it off, so now he's behind in the count 0-2. So we had 2 things going on there. The runner was off with the pitch, that being Martinez, who's got good speed, and Watson trying to get the bunt down, trying to get really a base hit right there on the bunt. but fouled it off. Watson's back foot now on that back line of the batter's box. And I noticed with 2 strikes on him, he tends to close up his stance a little bit. It's an open stance. But with 2 strikes on him, he closes it up some. And it is an 0-2 count on him. No balls and 2 strikes right now. Here's the 0-2. This one is popped up into short right field. Right fielder coming in. The second baseman going out, and the second baseman makes the catch. And the throw back to first. And he barely made it back to first in time. So Watson flies out to right. And so now we for sure might see Martinez walk running because there's 2 outs. So Martinez on first with 2 down and Preston the batter. Cale struck out swinging in the first and then walked and scored a run, scored our first run in the 4th. Duhart. And they've got him picked up at first. Throw this down to and they throw it away. They had him picked off. They had him picked off as Martinez took off for second, and all the first baseman had to do was to make a good throw to the shortstop at second base, and they threw it away. Boy, we catch a break there, so that's going to be an error right there. You have to give it to either the first baseman or the shortstop who was covering. So now a runner in scoring position for Preston with 2 down. First pitch to Cale. And he looked like he was going to put the bunt down, pulled it back, and takes a strike. Again, Cale struck out in the first, walked to lead off the 4th, and scored our first run of the ball game. Carthage up 2-1. Duhart looks back at second, comes to the plate. This one hit back up the middle. Shortstop has it. Throw to first, and it is thrown away. And a run will come in to score, and Preston's going to try for second, and he slides in safely. So that was a ground ball up the middle, and the shortstop threw it away. I think that would have to be an error right there on the shortstop, and a run comes in to score as Martinez comes in from second base to score. It's now 3-1 Bulldogs. And Preston is on the error by the shortstop. High throw over the first baseman's head. So now Carthage is up 3-1. And we've got Preston at second with 2 down for Brooks Soap. Let's go, Brooks. Duhart looks back at Preston at second base. To the plate, outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Soap has grounded to third and then flied out to center. Looking back in the Spring Hill, he went 0 for 3 in the second game. First game, 0 for 4. All right, let's go, Brooks. 1-0 on Brooks. This one popped up foul, up and over the net and out of play. So 1-1 the count now. So you've got good speed at second in Cale Preston. A base hit to the outfield, and this guy's going to score, and there's no doubt about it. Carthage up now 3-1. Breaking ball in there for a strike, strike 2. 1-2 now on Brooks. Cade Moore the batter. Cade Moore on deck, pardon me. Brooks Soap the batter. Cade Moore on deck. Duhart looks back at Preston at second base. Goes to second. Preston back in. Bulldogs in a battle here so far tonight. They're up 3-1. They trailed until the top of the fourth. Here's the pitch. This is fouled off. 2-2 the count now on Brooks. Again, if you just look at the standings, you know, the district records, this is a team that we should beat. They're 2-6. Carthage 7-2. Kilgore 7-2. Kilgore playing Spring Hill tonight. So Kilgore's got 2 games with Spring Hill this week. Here's the 1-2 pitch. This one outside, 2-2. No, yes, 2-2 now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 on Soap with Preston at second. 2 down here in the top of the 5th. Carthage with a run in, and they lead it now 3-1. Duhart, the pitcher, the lefty, looking back at Preston. Brings it home. High, 3-2. So Brooks hanging tough now. He was behind, I believe he was behind 0-2. I think he was behind 0-2 in this at bat, and now it's full at 3-2. Duhart looks back at Preston to the plate. This one hit foul down the left field line. Pull that one foul. Foul by, 40, 45 feet, something like that. I tell you, I can see one slight change between this ballpark and our ballpark, and that is they've got a few dark spots in the outfield. Here's the pitch. This one line down the left field line, and that's a foul ball. But he's bringing it closer. The previous pitch, it was fouled off by, I'm going to guess 42 to 45 feet, something like that. That was foul. But I'd say about 18 to 20 feet, something like that. So he's getting it closer. Brooks Soap with a full count on him. Preston on second with 2 down. Here's a 3-2. Inside, ball 4, and he worked him for a walk. Way to go. Nice at bat there by Brooks Soap. I think he was behind in the count 0-2, and he works a walk out of it. Fouled a couple of pitches off. Got the pitch count up a little bit for Duhart. He's now at 74 pitches. And Cade Moore up there now with runners at first and second and 2 outs. This pitch lining to left center field. That's going to be down for a base hit. That will bring in 1 run. Preston rounds third, headed toward the plate, and Soap slides into third. Cade Moore with a big hit there. Wow. Big hit by Cade Moore to left center field. A sharply hit line drive. And no doubt about that one as Preston comes around easily with his speed to score. And Soap takes third. Now we're going to bring Soap out. And we bring in a runner for him. And this runner is going to be Braxton Ritter. So Ritter in to run for Soap. And Moore is at first base with an RBI single. So that's a big hit right there. Now it's a 4-1 ball game for Blayton Legrone. Duhart to the plate. High, ball 1. This is the 3rd time through the order for Duhart. Legrone singled in the 2nd and grounded to 3rd in the 4th. Been hitting in the 9 hole, but he's moved up tonight to the 6 hole. Here's the 1-0. Low, 2-0. Okay, Duhart behind in the count. 2 runs in for the Bulldogs here. They lead it now 4-1, excuse me. Was that called a strike? Oh my gosh. Okay, looked like that was low and inside. 2-1 the count now on Legrone. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. This one hit in the hole, into left field for a base hit, and another run comes in to score. Blayton Legrone with his second hit of the ball game. And that brings in a run from third base. And the Bulldogs now lead it 5-1. The runner on first moves up to second. And Legrone is now 2 for 3 with an RBI. That young man, wow, the last 3 to 4 weeks, and I don't have the stats to prove it, but he's been a big contributor offensively. Big contributor. And he's moved up into the order tonight. There's a pitch low. Nice block by the catcher. So the Bulldogs have now scored 3 runs here in the 5th inning, and they lead it now 5-1 over Pine Tree. This is a win the Bulldogs absolutely have to have. You know, you want to finish as that number 2 seed, have some momentum going into the playoffs. Duhart with the 1-0 outside, 2-0. 2-0 count now on, and this is Caden Ritter. Ritter with a big 2 RBI double himself in the 4th inning. So he's 2 for 2, a single and a double and 2 RBIs. Big night for Caden Ritter. Ahead on the count here, 2-0. Outside, 3-0. So runners now at first and second for Carthage in the top of the 5th. 3 runs in. There's 2 outs. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. Here's the pitch outside, ball 4, and a walk to Ritter. And that now loads them up. The bases are juiced here. Let's see if we don't see the Pine Tree coach coming out to make a pitching change. No sign of him yet. Okay, Duhart's going to stay in there. Leach the batter now. River, the 9th batter in the inning to come up for Carthage. It all started with Andrew Gwynn lined out to the shortstop. Bases loaded for the Bulldogs. Up 5-1 now. Here's the wind up, the pitch to Leach. Inside, gets away from the catcher, and the runner's going to stay at third. Not a whole lot of room here between the plate and the backstop. And the runner stayed at third base, so 1-0 the count now on River. River has struck out swinging and lined to center. Here's the 1-0. This one hit foul, out of play. His dad, Danny Leach, got a great view to film his at-bat. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Hit low, 2-1. 2-1 now on River. 2 balls, 1 strike. Bulldogs will be at home. In fact, you know, we've been in this stretch where we play on the road on Tuesday and at home on Friday. Here's the 2-1 pitch. This one swung on and missed. Strike 2. 2-2 the count now. Well, it's going to change. The next 2 games are going to be at home. Here's the wind up, the 2-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So River goes down swinging to end the top half of the 5th inning, but the Bulldogs put a crooked number on the board. 3 runs come in to score on 1, 2, 3 hits. There was at least, 2 errors for Pine Tree and 3 runners left on base. So we go now to the bottom of the 5th. Carthage now leads it. It's Carthage 5 and Pine Tree 1. Back with the bottom of the fifth in 60 seconds.
You should say bring your mic,
Huh?
bring your mic up. I think it's a little, get a little bit.
Okay.
No, just twist it at this angle down. That's good.
Okay. All right, we go to the bottom of the fifth, and it's the bottom of the order for the Pine Tree Pirates. Dalen Montgomery leading off, took strike one. That one's high and outside. Ball one, 1-1 the count. So the Bulldogs, a little bit of breathing room now. They were up 2-1 going to the top of the fifth and scored 3 runs, so it's now a 5-1 ball game. Carthage will be at home the next 2 ball games, Friday and Tuesday. Here's the 1-1 pitch inside 2-1. Friday night, the Pine Tree Pirates will be at Bulldog Park, and next Tuesday it'll be the Henderson Lions. Here's the 2-1. Strike 2 call. Let's get this guy right here. This pitch popped up, foul. Back up over our heads. And out of play. So it stays 2-2. Cade Moore has now thrown 68 pitches. We're in the bottom of the fifth inning. Here's the 2-2. Just missed outside, 3-2 count now. Didn't miss by much. Let's get him, Cade. This is a 9-hole hitter here. Here's the 3-2. Ball 4. So he walks the leadoff hitter. Let's see how many he has walked tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4. And their only run that scored reached on a walk. All right, batter squares around as if to bunt, takes a pitch outside, ball 1. This is the leadoff hitter, and here comes John Goodwin out. So we've got time call. Remember, timeout sponsored by Flowzone. Flowzone is your industry leader for all oil and gas pipe, valve, fitting, and supply needs. They're ready to offer customer service that will exceed your expectations. So John out to visit with Cade. Usually when he goes out there, there's going to be 3 people in the conversation. John, the pitcher, and the catcher. And that's the case here. All right, home plate ump going out to break it up. John heads back to the dugout. I asked John recently what position he played when he was in high school and at college. He played some shortstop and second base and a little bit behind the plate. Here's the 1-0 pitch. There goes the runner. Pitch is fouled off, out of play. Runner on the move. And so the count now is 1 ball and 1 strike on Manuel Williams. Williams, the leadoff hitter. A lot of noise coming from the Pine Tree bench, from the Pine Tree dugout. Moore looking down to Soap to get the sign. He's got it. 1-1 pitch. He squares around a bunt, takes a strike, throw down his first, runner back in there. So the count now is 1 ball and 2 strikes on Manuel Williams. He has grounded a second and struck out swinging, so he is 0 for 2 in the ball game. He pulls out a pocket of information from, a sort of booklet of information from his back pocket. Looks at it, now into the batter's box. Long time on the rubber, on the stretch for Moore, and Williams asked for time. I tell you what, Cade Moore is as fast a worker as you'll see when there's nobody on. But you get a runner on, and he slows it down considerably. Working here with a runner on and nobody out. Here's the pitch. Strike 3 call, got him. So Williams is called out. Takes strike 3, looking at it. Called out on strikes, and now Boston Johnson. It's spelled exactly like the city Boston, Massachusetts, except there's 2 S's, Boston. Boston Johnson has walked and flied to left. Throw over to first, runner back. Defensively for Carthage, Brooks Soap behind the plate, Cade Moore on the mound, River Leach at third, Sam Watson at short, Maddox Martinez at second. There goes the runner. Throw down to second. He is safe at second base. Nice throw there by Brooks Soap, but the base is stolen there. Infield, River Leach at third, Sam Watson at short, Maddox Martinez at second, Cade Ross at first, Kiel Preston's in left, Caden Ritter in center, and Blayton Legrone in right. Here's the 1-0, squares around a bunt, takes another strike. So the count now is 1-1. Again, we're in the bottom of the 5th. Carthage leading 5-1. Pine Tree with a runner at second and 1 out. And a 1-1 count on Boston Johnson, who has walked and flied to left. Moore at 76 pitches. So he's got 34 remaining before he reaches 110. One and one the count. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. '77 pitches now. Scoreboard here at the new Pine Tree Park is in left field. Here's a 1-2. Outside, 2-2. I asked a fan, I had one person tell me that this is the new Field of Dreams. Their baseball park at the high school was the Field of Dreams. Here's a 2-2 pitch. This one, ground ball, right side. Martinez has it over to first in time. Tough play there by Martinez. Wow. That was a tough play there. A hopper over the head of Moore, just on the first base side of second base, and Martinez coming in, caught it on the run and had to make an accurate throw, sort of going away from first base to get him. And the runner was off with the pitch. So in other words, the runner was trying to steal third, so he is at third now with 2 down. Nice play by Maddox Martinez. That pitch is high for ball 1. Here's the windup, the 1-0. Outside. 1-1 the count. This is High Tree, the batter. This is the 3-hole hitter. Pretty good sized young man. Popped up to first. And that looked good. Called ball 3. Wow. 3-0 the count now on High Tree. Here's a 3-0 in there for a strike. 3-1 now. Sort of a stockily built young man. Here's the 3-1. Strike 2 call. So now 3-2 on High Tree. They wind up the 3-2. Swing! Swung on and missed. No contact, and he is out on strikes. Swing and a miss. So High Tree strikes out. So for the Pine Tree Pirates in the bottom of the 5th, no runs, no hits. The only batter to reach base walked. No errors and 1 left. We go to the top of 6th here at Pine Tree Junior High School. And the Bulldogs lead it is Carthage 5 and Pine Tree 1. Back after this 60-second break. Here at Pine Tree Junior High. Again, I had one person tell me that this is the new Field of Dreams. They played at the high school for years, and their ballpark was named the Field of Dreams. And they are putting in a new building at the high school, and that building is going to be where the old Field of Dreams was. So the Field of Dreams is no more. I understand it's been totally taken out, and they built this new one here. And I had one person tell me that, okay, here is Andrew Gwynn leading off, and he pops someone up over this netting, out of play. So 0-1 on Andrew. He has lined to right and lined to the shortstop. Here's the 0-1. This one popped up infield. Second baseman wants it and makes the catch for out number 1. All right, now Martinez up with 1 away. Martinez has popped to short, lined to center, and then singled and scored last inning in the 5th inning. He got it all started with 1 out. Bulldogs leading at 5-1 at outside for a ball. So I had one person tell me that this is the new Field of Dreams, and I had another person tell me that they haven't decided yet what they're going to name it. Outside 2-0. Incidentally, 84 pitches for Cade Moore through the first 5 innings, so he's got 26 pitches remaining for the last 2 innings. Doable. Here's the 2-0, high, 3-0. And, of course, remember that if you reach 110 pitches and you're right in the middle of pitching to a batter, you get to complete the pitches to that batter, and then you have to come out. Here's a 3-0 in there for a strike. 3-1 now to Martinez. We're in the top of the 6th. Carthage leading at 5-1. 1 out, nobody on. 3-1 count on Martinez. The 3-1. This one grounded to the right of the second baseman. He's got it. Throw to first and in time to get Martinez. So Martinez is out 4-3 for out number 2 in the inning. And that brings up now Sam Watson. Watson is lined to short, grounded out. First baseman to the pitcher covering, and then fly to right, so he is 0 for 3. This young man was the leading Bulldog batter last year as far as average was concerned, and really was a surprise. You know, I don't think there were many people who thought before the season started that this young man would be leading the team in batting average for the season. Here's the 1-0, inside 2-0. And I think in my opinion, okay, if I were picking the surprise player of this year, here's the 2-0. It would be Blayton LeGrone. Did not start last year. Batted in the 9-hole for just about the entire season. Here's the 3-0 pitch, inside ball 4. Way to go, Sam. So Sam Watson walks on 4 pitches. So he's now on first with 2 outs for Cale Preston. Now, you know, up by 4 runs, John Goodwin, he may have Watson on the move right here. But remember, you got a left-hander, and he has picked one of our guys off. Now, they butchered it by making a throwing error. They had him at second base. The runner took off for second. First baseman just needed to make a good throw. The second, they get him, and he threw it into left field. There's a strike to Preston. Now count is 0-1 to him. Here's the 0-1. Check swing and upset that he went around, so the count now is 0-2. So Cale's behind on the count now. Cale has struck out swinging, walked and scored, reached on an error and scored. Here's the pitch. There goes the runner. The low pitch is low. Throw down to second. He is out at second base. So Watson is thrown out trying to steal. That is the 3rd out of the inning. So for the Bulldogs, in the top of the 6th, no runs, no hits. Watson walked on a 3-0 pitch and then was thrown out trying to steal. No runs, no hits, no errors, and as it turns out, no one left. So we go now to the bottom of the 6th. The score, Carthage 5 and Pine Tree 1. We'll be back with the bottom of the 6th after this 60-second break. Oh. All right, during his warm-ups, Cade Moore fell down on the last warm-up pitch. I don't know. I guess he just lost his balance after. Obviously, the pitch didn't look very pretty. So let's hope that doesn't carry over here to the bottom of the 6th. Who's he going to face? The 4, 5, and 6-hole hitters. Braden Morris, the cleanup hitter, leads off. He is lined to right and grounded to second. So he's a right-handed batter and has gone the opposite way twice in the ball game. Grounded to second and lined out to the right fielder. Here's a pitch to him. Ball 1. Pitch number 85 in the ball game for Cade Moore. Here's the 1-0. There's a strike. He came in needing to average. He had 26 pitches coming into the inning for 2 innings. That'd be 13 per inning. Here's the 1-1. This one. One hopper to shortstop. Watson has it. Throw to first. High throw. And the runner will be safe. One hopper picked up by Sam Watson, and it was a high throw. Ross almost came down with it, couldn't quite get it. Looked like he got his glove on it, so that's going to be an error right there. First error of the ball game for the Bulldogs. So Pine Tree with a runner on first with nobody out. 87 pitches now for Cade Moore. Chris Nicholas up now. He is lined to left and single. Pitch is low, gets away from Soap. And taking second on the wild pitch will be Marsh. So Pine Tree now with a runner at second, nobody out here in the bottom of the sixth. Carthage leading it 5-1. And a 1-0 count now on Nicholas. There's a strike. 1-1 the count. Bulldogs with a win here tonight. Here's the 1-1 low. Nice stop by Brooks behind the plate. 2-1 the count now on Nicholas. 89 pitches, no, 90 pitches now. 90 pitches for Cade Moore. And no outs recorded yet here in the sixth inning. Outside ball 3. 3-1 the count. Bulldogs leading 5-1. Pine Tree with a runner at second. Outside ball 4. Okay, let's see if John Goodwin comes out. Not yet. So runners at first and second. Cade Moore now up to 92 pitches. Now here he comes. John Goodwin going to go out, and we may have a pitching change coming up right now. We'll tell you about it here when we come back. The timeout sponsored by FlowZone, your industry leader for all oil and gas pipe, valve, fitting, and supply needs. They're ready to offer customer service that will exceed your expectations. And let's see if we're going to have a new pitcher coming in. Okay, yes, we are. Cade Moore is going to be relieved. So Moore looks like he'll stay in and go to first base, I think. And let's see who the new pitcher is going to be. Okay, the new pitcher is going to be Cale Preston. Preston, the left-hander, will come in to relieve Cade Moore. So Moore goes out here in the sixth inning with nobody out. Runners at first and second. And we've got a new pitcher, so let's take a 90-second break. 90 seconds, and we'll be back with the bottom of the sixth inning continuing. Exo. All right, so Cale Preston is in to relieve, and the first pitch to M.J. Cates is in there for a strike. Looked like he was going to square around and move the runners up. Going to square around again. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike two. So 0-2 on Cates. As John Goodwin goes out and relieves the right-hander, Cade Moore, with a lefty, Cale Preston. Here's the 0-2. Swung on and missed, strike three. So Preston comes in and immediately strikes out Cates. That was an off-speed pitch there. And it completely surprised Cates as he was well out in front of it. Now Duhart, the pitcher, up. Nice job there by Cale Preston. Pine Tree down by 4 runs. It's got 2 runners on base and had nobody out until that strikeout there of Cates. Here's the pitch, low for ball 1. Okay, this is Duhart. He has walked and scored and then walked in the 4th inning, and has had some couple of weak swings at the plate. This is the guy you've got to get here. Do not walk him. Here's the 1-0, low 2-0. Oh my word! Can you believe it? Yeah, he's just has not looked great at the plate, at least so far. Now he may hit the next one out of here, but he has not looked good at the plate, and we've walked him twice already. And now he's Cale's behind on him the 3rd time, 2-0. Let's go, Cale. Cale, a senior. Here's the 2-0. In there for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. I'll say one thing for Cale, boy, he gets the ball back, gets the sign, he's ready to go. Here's the 2-1. Outside, ball 3. Again, this young man at the plate is not their strongest hitter. He is weak on at least 1 swing in each of his at-bats, but he's walked twice already. Here's the 3-1. This one hit to right field. Okay, here's Legrone coming in. He makes the two-handed grab, and the runner does not tag for 3rd base. So, does not tag and try to go to 3rd. So now that's the 2nd out of the inning. That was a big out right there. We finally get that young man retired on the fly ball to Legrone. So now 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th, and the batter is Trey Nafrady. Nafrady, spelled N-A-F-R-A-D-Y. Nafrady. He is 2 for 2, a double and a single. That's in there for a strike. So the bottom of their order has been pretty productive. Duhart, who we just retired, had 2 walks. This young man, the 8-hole, a double and a single. And the 9-hole, a single and a walk. That one's just outside, 1-1 the count. So their last 3 hitters, first 2 times through the order, their last 3 in the lineup each got on twice. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and missed, strike 2. Now 1-2 on Nafrady. Cale from the stretch comes set at the letters, the 1-2. This one, ground ball down to the 3rd baseman. Leach has it, throw to first, in time, got him. Boy, what a job by Cale Preston. He comes in and retires 3 in a row, and that ends the Pine Tree threat right there. They had runners at 1st and 2nd with nobody out, and they do not score. So no runs on no hits, 1 Bulldog error, our first error of the night, and 2 left on base. We go now to the top of the 7th. It's Carthage 5 and Pine Tree 1. Back after this 60-second break. So the Bulldogs made a pitching change in the bottom of the 6th. Now Pine Tree is going to change here in the top of the 7th. Manuel Williams, who started in left field, has come in now to relieve Duhart, Zachary Duhart. So Williams in to replace Duhart to relieve him. And the Bulldogs will send up here in the top of the 7th the 3, 4, and 5 holes. Cale Preston, Brooks Soap, and Cade Moore. See if we can get another insurance run on the board here. Carthage leading Pine Tree 5-1. Spring Hill playing Kilgore tonight. Kilgore tied with Carthage for second place in the district with records of 7-2. Spring Hill on top with a record of 9-0. Pitch is low for ball 1. Okay, Williams with the 1-0. This one, fastball, swung on and missed, 1-1. Preston was at the plate when Watson was thrown out to end the 6th inning trying to steal second. Squares around as if he's going to bunt, takes it inside. The count now is 2-1 on Cale Preston. So Preston has struck out swinging, walked and scored, reached on an error and scored. So got 2 runs scored in the ball game. Here's the 2-1, inside ball 3. Wouldn't hurt to have an extra run or 2 here. Just a little bit more of a cushion to go to the bottom of the 7th. Here's the 3-1. This one fouled up and over the screen, up and over the net. Nope, it came, the top of the net caught it. Yeah, they have a few dark spots in the outfield here with their lighting. Here's the 3-2. This one swung on and missed, strike 3. So Preston down on strikes as he could not catch up to that heater. Brooks Soap, the batter now. He has grounded to third, flied to center, and walked and scored. Remember, he really did a great job at the plate on that last at bat, last plate appearance. He was behind in the count 0-2 and worked him, fouled off several pitches and worked him for a walk and then scored a run. So Soap has grounded to third, fly to center, and then walked and scored a run. So he's 0-2 with a walk and a run scored. Actually, it was his runner that scored. Here's a ground ball, left side. Going to be a tough play here. Shortstop throws to first, and not in time to get him. That's an infield single for Brooks Soap. So Soap with one out with an infield single. Ground ball that got past the third baseman, slowly hit, and once it got past the third baseman, you know it was going to be trouble. So Soap on with an infield single, and the batter now will be Cade Moore. So a runner on first with one out here in the top of the seventh. Carthage up 5-1. I believe that is Soap staying out there to run. This pitch is ball one. Ball two. Well, that was pretty close there. The chatter has dropped off in the pine tree dugout. 2-0 the count on Cade. Inside ball three. So we've got Soap on first with one out and a 3-0 count now on Cade Moore. 2-0 count. 2-0 count. Pardon me. 3-0. Now they changed the scoreboard. Yeah. Here's a 3-0. There's a strike. 3-1. Legrone on deck. Here's the 3-1. Low ball four. So a single and a walk, and the Bulldogs have a threat going now. Runners at first and second with one out for Blayton Legrone, who is single, then grounded to third, and then a RBI single. So he is 2 for 3. Blayton Legrone, right-handed batter. Crouches at the plate. Pitch is low, ball one. I mentioned Sam Watson really was sort of the surprise player of last year. Here's the guy for this year, in my opinion. Boy, he has really, really contributed, not only at the plate, but I remember he's thrown out a runner. He's thrown out a runner at the plate from right field. And he's just reliable in the outfield. He's sort of like Preston in left field. You know that when the ball's hit toward him, he's going to get it. Here's the pitch. This one hit well to left center field. Center fielder going over to his right. He is there and makes the catch. And that ball was hit a long way, but it was an out to left center. So Legrone lines out to center for out number 2. And so now the batter is Caden Ritter. Ritter singled, doubled in 2 runs, and then walked. So he's been on all 3 times. 2 for 2 with a walk and 2 RBIs. Good night for him. This pitch is fouled out of play. Carthage will be at home on Friday night to face these same Pine Tree Pirates. Spring Hill leads the district at 9-0. Carthage and Kilgore. Okay, we've got a runner coming in for Soap. That's going to be Braxton Ritter in the run for Brooks Soap at second. Ritter with a count of 0-1 on him. In there for a strike, 0-2 now. So the number 1 seed in the district is the district championship pretty much decided. Spring Hill with a 2-game lead over Carthage and Kilgore. Strike 3 call. So Ritter called out on strikes. Ritter not too sure about that call. So no runs for the Bulldogs here in the bottom of the 6th. 1 hit, that was a single by Soap. no errors, and 2 left. All right, we go now to the bottom of the 7th. Bulldogs up by a score of 5-1. Pine Tree down to their last 3 outs in the ball game. We'll be back with the bottom of the 7th after this 60-second break.
High-performance building products in the area. You know these folks. You know them from church, civic clubs, as volunteers in the work they do in the community and at Louisiana Pacific. Good people in good company with you and Louisiana.
Now to the bottom of the 7th. Carthage leading Pine Tree 5-1. And we still got Cale Preston out there on the mound. Remember, Cale came in to relieve Cade Moore in the 6th inning with 2 runners on and nobody out, and got out of the inning without allowing a run. See if you can loosen that for me. Thank you. Now, here's the first pitch, and it's ball 1. Leading off for the Pine Tree Pirates is going to be Dalen Montgomery. 1-0 on him. Here's the pitch, ball 2. Pine Tree down to their last 3 outs. There's a strike. Here's a 2-1 pitch. This one fouled back into the screen. It's now 2-2. The 2-2. Low, ball 3. 3-2 the batter. 3-2 the count, pardon me. 3-2 the count. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Dalen Montgomery, leading off in the bottom of the 7th for the Pine Tree Pirates. Carthage up 5-1. Here's a 3-2. Strike, 3 call, got him. So, Montgomery called out on strikes for out number 1. That's a big out right there. Always nice to get that first out in the inning. Get that first batter retired that leads off the inning. Manuel Williams, the batter now, top of the order. This one hit foul out of play down the right field line. Their new ballpark here at Pine Tree is at the junior high school. Here's the 0-1. This one, 2-hopper to short. Watson's throw high, and he is safe at first base. Watson's throw was high and down the first base line toward the plate a little bit, and so that'll be an error as Williams reaches base. Second error of the ball game for the Bulldogs. It pulled Moore off the bag. He caught it, tried to tag him as he was going by, and definitely missed him. Good call by the umpire. Here's a pitch. This one is in there for a strike to Boston Johnson. Johnson has walked, flied to left, and grounded to second. Preston with the 0-1. Just missed. 1-1 the count now. Pine Tree down to their last 2 outs in the ball game. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Carthage leading 5-1. A runner on first with 1 out. Here's the 1-1. Outside 2-1. Now, Cal Preston has had an injury or 2 this year, but boy, I tell you, last year, a 4-sport athlete. And, he played a lot in football. He was one of our leading golfers on a team that I believe went to the state tournament. I think that's right. Starter in baseball, starter in basketball. Here's the 2-2. This one popped up right side. Someone should get it. Moore in foul ground. One hands it for out number 2. So Johnson pops out to Cade Moore in foul territory. And now Pine Tree down to the last out. Carthage leading 5-1 here in the bottom of the 7th. A runner on first, and now 2 outs. Now you would think that, in this situation, they would not be running and trying to steal. There's a strike. This is Peyton Hightree. Hightree has popped to first, singled, and then struck out. Struck out swinging. They're over to first, runner back in. I think that's the first time Cale's gone over to first in this relief appearance. Cale Preston coming in to relieve Cade Moore in the bottom half of the 6th inning. That one missed. 1-1 the count. He came in with 2 runners on and nobody out and retired 3 in a row. Here's the 1-1. This one hit foul down the right field line, and so now Pine Tree is down to their last strike. They trail 5-1 here in the bottom of the 7th, 2 outs, and a 1-ball and 2-strike count on the batter, Peyton Hightree, 3-hole hitter. Preston got the sign. And the 1-2. Low, nice stop by Brooks. 2-2 the count now. Cale trying to close it out right here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2. This one popped up on the right side. Martinez got it. Dogs win. Little pop up on the right side, and Martinez going to his left caught it on the run for out number 3, and the Bulldogs win it here by a score of 5-1. We'll be back in 90 seconds to wrap this one up. From Pine Tree, Bulldogs win it. Back in 90.
How's air conditioning and electrical?
Is Spider-Man there?
Well, I don't know where you can find Spider-Man.
Don't you always have something for everyone?
Well, we can help everyone with heating, cooling, and electrical repair needs. We install new systems and whole home generators, too. We don't know where any superheroes are, but we always have super prices.
Super prices? I never heard of that superhero.
Since 1974, we've got something for everyone. Hal's Air Conditioning and Electrical. Call 903-693-7451.
When making important decisions, it's reassuring to count on people you know. First State Bank and Trust Company is that group of people offering home loans or everyday depository needs. First State Bank and Trust is recognized as being among the most reliable, strongest banks as determined by our nation's leading bank rating firm, Bauer Financial Incorporated. It's a 5-star rated bank of people you know, always innovating for your changing financial needs. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender, First State Bank and Trust. Country at its best, the Carthage town motto. And access to health care rivaling that of bigger cities is a big reason life is so good here, with UT Health at the heart of the community. Find round-the-clock emergency treatment in a Level 4 Trauma Center at
Tuesday night at Pine Tree Junior High School in Longview, Texas, the Carthage Bulldogs and the Pine Tree Pirates in a District 16 4A get-together. The Bulldogs trailing early in the ball game. They trailed 1-0 at one point. The Bulldogs came up with a couple of runs in the fourth to make it a 2-1 ball game, and then added 3 more runs in the fifth. And Carthage wins this one by a score of 5-1. Here are the totals in the ball game. First of all, for the Pine Tree Pirates, 1 run on 5 hits. They committed 2 errors and they stranded 8. Pine Tree in district play now, 2 wins and 7 losses. And for the Carthage Bulldogs, 5 runs on 8 hits, 2 errors, and they also stranded 8 runners in the ball game. And the Bulldogs now are assured of no worse than a tie for second place in the district with a record of 8-2. The Bulldogs came into the ball game tied with Kilgore for second place in the district. Kilgore playing Spring Hill on Tuesday night. We do not know the results of that ball game yet. So the Bulldogs will be no worse than a tie for second in the district following play here tonight in Longview, Texas. So once again, the final score, the Carthage Bulldogs 5 and the Pine Tree Pirates 1. For your Sports Beat station, I'm Larry Allen. Okay, I want to thank Thomas Powell for his work in getting the video going here on our live stream. And also for Josh, his work back at the station. Glad the Bulldogs came back and won this one. They were down at 1 point, 1-0, but came back and won it by a score of 5-1. They will be at home on Friday night when they entertain these same Pine Tree Pirates. So for Thomas Powell and Josh back at the station, this is Larry Allen for your Sports Beat station, Sports Beat station in East Texas. Reminding you once again, the Bulldogs win it 5-1 from Longview, Texas. Have a great night, everybody.